Another full moon. A full moon reading with 2 cards today that I've just looked into with a group of people, and we're now going to make a quick summary of these 2 cards which I'm holding up, which are the Empress, which came up first, and the Judgment card. 2 major arcanas, and there was no other card that wanted to come up with these 2 beautiful major arcana cards today, so we're going to dive into what these 2 cards might be speaking about in both individual, on both an individual level, and how they relate to each other and what that message might be in our lives right now. Biggest thing about readings like this for me, when only major arcana cards come up, one of the biggest stories about that for me is that we're not really referring to singularized experiences. We're not really talking about an experience that we can relate to, one story that might be going on in our lives, but we're talking about a transitional period. So the major arcana for me speak about a dynamic up-leveling of consciousness, and these 2 cards together represent some type of deeper opportunity. They're both upright, they're both very much, they both have a very strong message, and that message is always going to be one that speaks about how we can become more self-aware. So the self-awareness is the number 1 message of this full moon reading today by far. And the self-awareness that we're talking about is a self-awareness that is uplifting on one level from this Judgment card, but incredibly feminine on another level with the Empress card. And so we're talking about a shift of consciousness that we maybe as human beings can find the opportunity, create the opportunity, allow the opportunity to be experienced, to be embodied in our life, not through one experience, but through hopefully 100 experiences, not through one time that we might remember this message, but maybe us remembering this message continuously for a month or something, if that was the case, right? If our memory was that good. The feminine Empress is the divine acceptance, receptivity that this earth consciousness is. She represents the consciousness that's behind the earth, which we often call Mother Nature, and she represents this very strong magnetic pull. So this earth has a gravitational pull to her, and this Empress in a way is that gravity. It's that gravity inside of us that goes, come to me. Come down to earth, and I will welcome whatever comes to land upon me. And in our lives, that's whatever life is bringing to us. In our lives, that is whatever we feel is a gift, and a divine gift at that. This is that feminine receptivity where we are so firmly grounded in feeling safe about who we are that we can allow ourselves to be the open channel for some bigger, greater amount of abundant manifestation. Now, what does abundant manifestation mean for us? That's going to be different from one person to the next. Some people, their abundance is going to be in laughter. Sometimes it's going to be silliness. But amazing silliness, but loving silliness and loving laughter. Sometimes it can even be the amount of opportunities that land on your plate. Sometimes it can be the amount of fruit that's growing in your garden. Sometimes it can be just the richness of experience that you can allow into your life and say yes to, that will lift you up. And the key to the Empress's feminine manifestation gift is this ability to say yes without reservation. A lot of the time we relate this to saying yes to everybody, and that's not it. It's about saying yes to the divine that wants us to be a channel for greater things, for more of everything, more experiences of everything, whatever that might mean, and to welcome that moreness, to welcome that lots of abundance, that Venus energy of diversity and broad expansion. She sits there very much connected to the divine, and that divine connection is what keeps her safe and allows her to say yes safely. And that's part of her message. We don't need to say yes from the ego. We don't need to say yes from the little me. She's not about saying, yes, I want this, and yes, I need that, and yes, if I don't have that, I'm not going to be good enough. She is just about saying yes to whatever the divine would love us to embody, to embrace, and to channel on many levels. She speaks about an effortless of manifestation. She's not looking for it. She's expecting it and allowing it. She knows what looking after herself looks like. She knows what caring for herself and other people feels like, to the point where she herself is why she is the safe person to say yes to the world, because she will not allow anything to grow around her that doesn't need to grow. She won't allow anything to pass through her that doesn't need to come through her. This is not saying no. This is just saying yes to what life wants us to. And that connectedness to the divine allows us to know what that is. We make a lot of effort in life a lot of the time, and she represents the path of least resistance that a lot of people speak about. We make a lot of effort in order to make things happen. And that effort is a very masculine way, path of manifestation, which is not wrong. But that's not what she's speaking about. She's saying that we can get a lot more and make a lot more happen in our lives and in and around our world. We can share and experience a lot more abundance if we allow more of joy to come through us, if we allow more love to come through us, if we allow ourselves to, in a way, hear a higher call. And this is the Judgment card too. And if the Empress is this divine opal channel of receptivity saying yes to life, then the Judgment is saying, yeah, well, say yes, but listen to this higher vibration, because that's what you've got to say yes to. And the Judgment is all about our ability primarily to have died to something heavier and lower, and something that pulls us down, and something that keeps us trapped, and something that holds us back, and something that's fear or based and lack based, and something that covers us up and hides us. Here in this card, we're being reborn and resurrected naked out of our coffins. The death of the little me, the death of a part of me that's afraid, the part of me that's afraid to be seen, the part of me that's clinging onto the small, the little, the individual, the separate part of me, the separateness of myself. Because I'm not enough. Yeah, but if we're not, we all feel often that we're not enough, and yet we're still holding on really tight to the little versions of ourselves, and we are carrying on feeling not enough, unsurprisingly so. We are holding on to ways that make us feel really individual and unique and special, and all those lovely things that make my personality wonderful and my individuality great and special and super and more important. But a lot of that holding on is based upon this insecurity of not feeling enough. And pretty much the only remedy for that lack and remedy for that unworthiness and lack of self-worth is dying to a little bit of that individuality, dying to a little bit of the little me. It doesn't mean that we lose our uniqueness. It doesn't mean that we're going to lose our sense of self, but we might lose the nonsense of self, if that was something. We might lose a little bit of our nonsense. We might lose a bit of our ignorance. And it's in the death of that ignorance that we can welcome in the higher vibration of this archangelic call. This call that's saying, hey, this higher vibration is yours. It's your birthright. I'm just calling you home. You're dreaming, or in a way, having a nightmare, that you're this separate being running around and you have to protect yourself and feel and make yourself safe and try and manifest as much abundance around you as possible. Just keep yourself safe for the future. And I'm here saying, no. It's all about your vibration. Let go of that fear. Let go of what holds you down. Don't strive to work or create or manifest from a space of lack, because that's you holding on to the lack, and you can't create abundance if we're tightly attached and acting through vibrations of unworthiness. It seems like a mixture of allowing life to come in and to come through us, and allowing ourselves to hear a higher message of us being much more than we may experience ourselves to be. But inside of that allowing, part of the allowing is allow yourselves to die too. Not physically, but allow some screwed up thought that you might have construed as helpful at one time, allow that to die. Allow some outdated belief to die. Allow some societal conditioning that we're all We all need to get one up against each other and we're all in competition. Allow that to die. Allow that it's all about you and how great you can be. Allow that to die. Because there's a more uniting vibration that's waiting for us to hear it. It's not something that starts when we choose to. It's something that's always there waiting for us to be open to hear it. But we can't really be reborn unless we're ready to surrender the old. A good thing is the older you get, the more willing you are to surrender the old. I've noticed that. But it's an allowing. It doesn't even have to be an active surrender. It doesn't even have to be something that you have to go out and strive to do. It's just like the Empress, this passive, open willingness to say yes to that surrender, yes to that death, yes to that letting go, yes to, that's an old me. If we can do that just once a day, with some tiny fraction of our personality that holds us back, some tiny aspect, some old belief that's we've been clinging on to for nonsensical reasons. If we can do that just once a day, then maybe we will hear a higher vibration and allow that vibration to be that feminine Empress's channel. And when it is the case, then we'll see the abundance manifest around us effortlessly. Have a wonderful full moon. Much love to you all.